Some bodies of water are just plain fun to fish. It might be the amount of structure or cover in the lake. It could also be the amount of different fish species that are available to pursue. The size and number of fish is also a big determining factor whether a lake is enjoyable to fish. And some lakes are also destination oriented. And a big part of the fun is just getting there and the challenge of searching new water. But the fact is, not all bodies of water have these characteristics. And that's what draws us to certain lakes, rivers, and reservoirs time and again. Today, on The Edge, Al and Dan Lindner head to one of their very favorite waters, a legendary lake located in the heart of Minnesota's North Country. A lake filled with loads of different fish species, from willing walleyes to massive muskies, and big bass, panfish, and pike. And when it comes to structure and cover, Leech has everything from expansive flats to rocky reefs, points, and vegetation-filled bays. And as a destination, the local community of Walker, Minnesota has tons of fun to offer the entire family. Stick around and you'll see why these guys are loving Leech Lake.
Tough. Holy mackerel, are these suckers tough.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
All right, Dano, looking good.
Yep.
Hey, you know, when I came back from Vietnam many years ago, my brother and I dreamed about a place to settle in and call home. Well, we picked central Minnesota, and the reason for that was pretty darn simple. It had so many lakes, rivers, and reservoirs, and every kind of freshwater fish that swam. In numbers, we figured we can spend a lifetime here and never be bored. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the best decisions we ever made, right?
Yeah, the land of 10,000 lakes and then some. And we're on one of our favorites right now. Let's go.
We're going.
About 1 hour north of our hometown of Baxter, Minnesota, is one of the most popular and well-known lakes in Minnesota. It's called Leech. The town of Walker and surrounding areas are a must-see destination in the heart of the state. This is truly a four-season wonderland. It's not only the fishing that drives people to this region, but it's a popular location for gambling, sailing, boating, four-wheeling, snowmobiling, hunting, camping, mountain biking, shopping, or just enjoying Mother Nature. And if you have a wild side, you may want to check out Moondance. It's one of the largest music festivals that happens in the entire state.
Got him. Good one. He's the good one. Good one, Dan. I need a net, Dan.
Okie dokie.
I guarantee you, he's the one we need. Oh, he's a good one. Oh, it feels so good. It's so sweet. It is so sweet, Dan. I'm guessing it's 20. Ooh, she's a big gal. She's a big one. She's a big one, Dan. Is it okay if I spot lock here,
Yep.
Dan? You're the kind of guy that likes a spot. How's that for a Walnetto, huh?
Ooh.
You see that, baby?
Yep.
It'll get your attention, won't it?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, she's tough. Okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, get her, Chief.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Look at this. Wait till you see the size of this baby. Now this is, you were looking at those dinks that I started with?
Yeah.
Now that ain't no dink, is it? Huh? Now that is what we came out here for, and it's happening nice and early. Look at the size of that one, Dan, huh?
Beauty.
Ain't it?
This segment has been brought to you by Dan Lindner Automotive, and they want to encourage you to drive safe on the road and on the water.
Fishermen are always looking for an edge. Lures, locations, the right equipment. Here's one edge mechanics have been using for decades to help engines run smoother and last longer. It's Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam works to do a few important things exceptionally well. Cleans dirty engine deposits, lubricates critical engine areas, and helps to protect the entire fuel system from harmful fuel residues. To me, this stuff is like a miracle in a can.
Get action. Do things. Be sane. Don't fritter away your time.
Hey, you just gotta visit Sunset Country.
You can't choose the weather, but you can choose to dress for it. Introducing BLACKFISH Performance Rain Gear. Utilizing patented eVent technology, this advanced membrane allows body heat and vapors to escape while offering 100% waterproof protection with an exceptional combination of waterproof and breathability ratings. BLACKFISH rain gear keeps you dry all day. Whether on the tournament trail or chasing weekend walleyes, choose BLACKFISH because you can't choose the weather.
This segment is brought to you by BLACKFISH Outdoor Apparel, because you can't choose the weather.
Oh, I love walleye fishing, especially when you can catch them jigging. It's one of my favorite ways, and obviously in the world of walleyes, jigging is one of your main presentations. And the lake we're on today is known as one of the best jigging walleye lakes I've ever been on. And this is proof in the pudding, man. Look at that. Oh man, love it.
That was a big walleye, and we're in Minnesota, and that's Minnesota state fish, the walleye, right? And we're on Leech Lake, but Leech Lake is also known for giant muskies, giant panfish, largemouth, and the smallmouth population is starting to boom. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a retrospective of some of the pieces we've shot over the years, you know, catching some of these fish and little tidbits about each one. One of the more memorable moments I have on this beautiful body of water is fishing for giant slab crappies with chair in the spring. It just so happens this was the first year that Minn Kota came out with Spot Lock, and it was a game changer. And to think, this is almost a decade ago, and the Spot Lock today is even more advanced. I am jealous.
So how nice is that? We can just sit here, catch fish after fish after fish, and you'll notice the head on this iPilot here is just, it's constantly shifting and it's moving. It's compensating for wind and it's compensating for the movements that we make in the boat, and it's holding us on a fixed GPS position, and it makes life a lot easier. Everybody's been there where you're trying to hold on the spot, then you catch a couple fish, and the wind blows you around, and where were the fish at? I think they were here, I think they were there, or you're trying to dig the anchor out. When you get them, you make noise. It's so easy, it's so slick. It's definitely a feature you want to have when you're fishing in a situation like this, because it makes it easy. You don't have to do anything except put bait on the hook and reel them in.
Another more memorable time was filming with my brother James and Jer up here chasing giant muskies. Obviously, they boated a ton of fish, but the interesting thing was a historical muskie event that happened on the lake many years ago.
There was a historical muskie event that happened here in the 1950s called the Leech Lake Muskie Rampage, where a group of guys went out and just pounded the muskies from Federal Dam out in Portage Bay. But realistically, that pounding that they had in the 50s that has been so famed and published all over the country is a fairly common occurrence. We fish muskies a lot up here, and it's not uncommon for two anglers over the course of the season to maybe have a few days where you boat between 5 and 10 fish. If you were to have that happen and you were to be standing with a group of guys that all had 6 muskies, it would look exactly like the pictures in the old days. And again, it all just comes back to angler ethics and good management.
Oh, got him. There's another one.
Oh,
another
that was
good
a
one.
little bit deeper.
Another good one. Another good one, Dan. Oh, man.
Look at that head thump.
Ooh.
Just
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Boy, these are big fish, boy.
You're going to need me to come to your rescue, aren't you?
Huh?
I'm going to have to come to the rescue with the net.
Yeah. It's tough to beat jigging in 3 to 8 foot of water for walleyes and catching tanks like this. You have no idea on how much I love this.
Yeah, it's hand-to-hand combat, isn't it?
You know, and there's really a lot of lakes that this happens in. These real shallow water walleyes are often overlooked. This lake is known for, boy, they're tough. Holy mackerel. I don't know, that fish, it's just, I didn't even got to look at her yet, man.
Look at that line just peeling around.
I don't know if that's a walleye. That fish is fighting so
Making
strange.
pretty good.
It's fighting so strange. Oh, it's a nice wall. Big eyeball.
I don't want
What the?
Just see that.
No. Man, that sucker was so tough. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Look at down. Look at down
throat.
her throat. Did she like that or did she like that? Wow. Wow. Dano. This is like, trips like this are, I look forward to it every year when you get these big walleyes like this up in the shallow water. And Leech is one of my favorite lakes to do it. You know, another neat thing, and I got to tell you about a lake like this. Leech is got so much diversity. Let me throw her back. I want to explain this to you.
Beauty.
What I mean by diversity, right now we've got overcast, a little bit of wind. I've got a shallow water walleye bite throwing on the main lake spots that I'm going to fish today because of the weather conditions, wind and overcast. I can catch some really big fish in the shallow water, and I love doing that. The same time that we're doing this, there's weed beds on this lake, and I can go to the weed beds and catch the walleyes. Usually if it's sunny and calm, this bite gets a little touchy, you go to the weeds to get bit. Same time this is happening, I can go to Walker Bay and go on the deep humps that are in Walker Bay with a jig and wrap and catch walleyes in 25 to 40 feet of water right now as this is happening. That's what I like about this. And not to mention, if you want to fish something else, we're talking about walleye. This lake is a walleye factory, and the fish do a lot of different things. You've got rockfish, you've got weed fish, you've got deep fish, you've got shallow fish. And weather impacts each one of these bites a little bit differently, but you've seen the size of the fish. That's a ball, man. I got to get another piece of plastic on here.
And Al forgot to talk about the other fish. And the interesting story about that is, like, they created a festival. There's like a bycatch or a rough fish called burbot eel pout. And 30-some years ago, they took this other fish and turned it into a festival. And it's really interesting what the community did about this other fish and how they turned it into a destination for the winter. The first Eel Pout Festival was held in February 1979 and has continued until the present. The annual gathering is held in the town of Walker, Minnesota. It's a celebration of the eel pout, burbot, or scientifically known as Loda Loda. From February 21st to the 24th, around 11,000 people will be in and around the town of Walker. This is way more than a fishing tournament. It's a 3-day party on the ice. You name it, they do it, and the crazies truly come out. It's a beautiful thing to do in the middle of winter when cabin fever's getting you down. There we go.
Got him?
Fish. Yep.
You got him? Smallmouth.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think it's a smallmouth unless he's wallet.
Ah!
You see him leaping out there?
What lies beneath can no longer hide. New Mega Imaging Plus uses high-frequency sonar to show you fish and structure up to 200 feet below your boat and 200 feet out to either side. No more secrets, no more guesswork, just a clearer picture of the world below, down to a fish's species and direction. Because more detail means more of this. Only from Humminbird.
Time to hit the lake because it's ice fishing season. And Fleet Farm has everything you need from novice to expert to help you reel in the record catch. Because right now, it's 14 inches thick, no sweat season. Flag up season. Improve your odds season. Now that's a trophy season. And of course, catch your limit and eat it too season. Fleet Farm is built for every season. Fleet Farm. Built for real life.
Let the adventure begin with Lund's all-new Adventure Series. Check out the special introductory price on the all-new Adventure Side Console. Features include a center rod locker and rear jump seats. There's also an optional ski pylon. $1775 and $1675 is also available with a full windshield, or get the $1675 and a tiller. Lund's Adventure Series. Your adventure awaits. To find your nearest dealer or to get a free catalog, visit lundboats.com.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors. You know, this lake is pretty big, and it could, hang on. It could be kind of intimidating to a lot of anglers, but you know, the Humminbird Lake Master chip is so accurate. You can come out here and get a really good idea what these spots look like without ever being on the lake before, obviously. And this Solex, the side imaging on there is unbelievable. That's the stuff we're fishing out here. You can see how snaggy it is, but look at that imaging on there. Isn't that unbelievable? It is truly, truly amazing. And that's the little cup that he got that last little pike out of. Well, he grabbed it and pulled out like a Rocky, though. There we go. Yep. I thought that felt funny. Oh. Yeah.
I like your net holder.
Oh yeah. Look at
the Talon is perfect for walleye netting.
Back there.
Actually, so big.
Look at that line screaming around. That's pretty cool, huh? You know, we film Angling Edge, Fishing Edge. We also produce the Angling Buzz, and we produce the Ontario Experience. And Troy, Al's son, is the host of two of those shows, Angling Buzz, and he had to take some people out here on a trip earlier this year. I want to show you the video. It was pretty cool. As part of the promotion for our Angling Buzz television series, Fleet Farm, Leech Lake Tourism Bureau, and Rapala put together a $500 shopping spree at Fleet, $500 of Rapala tackle, and a 2-day stay and guided fishing trip on Leech. Here is a little taste of the 2 days on the water.
Hey, yeah, come on up, come on up.
Look at that. So this is what we're up here at Leech Lake. We've been fishing for about 15 minutes. And we're on the board. I saw a flash. Get it? All right. We're, oh, got him, net, big fish. Get the net, giant fish. Okay, big net. Ready? Got him, huge muscle. Okay. I'm gonna turn her head that way. Okay. Got her. Scoop it. Wow. She's big. Gonna get her release, get her back in the water.
That is the first muskie I've ever seen caught.
That was a good one.
That was awesome. All I heard was
that was great.
Get her up, Bubba.
Nope, you're right.
Get her up one more time. I mean, she is a pigletty.
Wait. Oh, you got him, Al? Get him.
No, do I got him? Look at that.
I deserve him. Look at the size of this thing. Yeah, that was pretty cool, huh? You know, Troy took those guys out here, caught a bunch of fish, a bunch of different fish. Fleet Farm was super happy. The client was super happy. Leech Lake, wonderful fishery, man. Let me get this guy off and talk to you about jigs. Here we go. That is super fun catching walleyes in shallow water on jigs. This happens to be a VMC Mooneye jig, and you know, a lot of people would think a jig's a jig, you know, but they're not all created equal. There's a lot of finessey type stuff about jigs and applications and where they work the best. The jig has to be one of the most universal walleye catching lures ever designed. They can be fished shallow, deep, and in between, fast or slow, and fish rarely let go. The VMC Mooneye jig is one of our favorites for rigging soft plastics. The aspirin-shaped head makes this bait dart and dance in the water column, and fish love it. The VMC bucktail jig can be fished with or without a trailer. Oftentimes in shallow water, you can use this lure naked and it triggers a reaction bite. When we get out into deeper water, tipping it with a minnow trailer is a beautiful combination. This jig is at its peak performance in cool to cold water situations. The VMC hot skirt jig can be rigged with soft plastics or live bait and has a tendency to work best in stained or dark water situations.
You know, I want to take a minute to talk about rod reel line for these jig techniques that we use. The majority of our jig fishing is done with a St. Croix Icon. This is a 6/8 medium power, and it's perfect for this kind of fishing. Whether you're deep fishing a jigging wrap or fishing lead head jigs up in shallow water like this, it's a great action for this kind of fishing. I've got it on one of my favorite reels, the Daiwa 2500 Ballistic LT. LT stands for light and tough. This is a new reel design to come to the market. You put this combination in your hand and you're going to be perfect for jigging for walleyes anywhere you go, anytime. And a little bit about line. Now, from my experience, when you're fishing shallow water walleyes, you're going to catch more fish with monofilament. Yep, you heard me say monofilament. I truly believe that. This is Suffix's new advanced mono, and it's a monofilament. It fishes like mono, but it's got a lot of fluorocarbon tendencies, lower stretch, great sensitivity, abrasion resistant. This is the biggest advancement in monofilament line to come along in many, many years. Heck of a combination for jig fishing. Got him, got him, got him.
Go. Right on this.
For the bass that thinks it's a bulldog. For the walleye that thinks it's a freight train. For the tuna that thinks it's a torpedo. For the tarpon that thinks it's a tarpon. You need the mono that thinks it's a braid. Suffix Advance. New advanced mono with HMPE braid molecules for strength, abrasion resistance, and low stretch. Suffix Advance. The mono that thinks it's a braid.
At Mercury, there are no limits to the lengths we'll go to make sure you have no limits either. Unlimited adrenaline, unlimited fun, unlimited weekend. Except maybe having to go home eventually. Introducing the all-new V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
You want more angling edge? Well, our Facebook, YouTube, and website are constantly being updated. It's like overtime of your favorite show. Check out the store with the brand new apparel. And purchase 5 DVDs at the incredibly low price of $25. That's 5 DVDs for just 25 bucks. Place an order at anglingedge.com. The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Oh, she's got that whole thing. I don't even see the bait.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for being mean and mean.
Okay,
all right. She gobbled that thing.
Wow.
I knew there was another one up here. I knew there was another donkey up here. Man, are they tough. Holy mackerel, are these suckers tough.
Yeah.
You know, we fish in a given season on a lot of different lakes. A lot of great walleye lakes. and a lot of great bass and muskie. Just blessed to be able to go on a lot of different kinds of water. But Leech Lake, well, it's kind of got a soft spot in my heart for it, for a lot of reasons. This is being one of them. You know, my wife and I support a lot of different ministry throughout the year, and every few years it might change. We're led to support another one, but one of my all-time favorites has been In Touch, and that's a Dr. Charles Stanley a ministry, and I really, really like his work. And I want to read you something about the man that I found really interesting. I watched him on television a number of years, but this really spoke to me like it's going to probably speak to some of you. Releasing Guilt was the title of it. The church I grew up in could sum up much of its theology in one statement: thou shalt not. I don't recall hearing about the Father's love or how to live the Christian life. What I learned was that a wrathful God would punish me if I didn't follow the rules. And there seemed to be rules for everything, including what I could read, what I could wear, and what I could do. As a teenage boy, I spent a lot of time begging the Lord to forgive me for one foolish thing or another. And I carried around a constant weight of guilt and worry everywhere I went. I just couldn't seem to be good enough. In truth, the rules were a burden to me. Since I thought God made them, He was a burden to me too. As a young adult, I learned that my perception of God was wrong. He is gracious and loving. The commandments that He gave were designed to keep us safe and free from shame. But even when we do mess up, there's no condemnation for those who trust in Christ. Remembering, let me go to last. God is not a burden. He is the burden bearer. You know, years and years ago when God got out of my head and into my heart, it set me free from a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions that I had about God and love, unconditional love, that I can have right standing with Him, that I can come to Him in prayer and ask for things that I need. When God gets out of your head and into your heart and becomes real to you, lots and lots of things change, and all for the better. Something to think about for the week. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for watching. And if you really like what you see, we got a whole lot more. So check us out at any one of these online outlets. You know, in fishing, there are good days and there are great days. Time is just a wink from the Almighty. We plan, target, rig, and play the game like everyone else.